Is this too bright? There we go. All right, so I'm just gonna spam everything like I do, and then we will get going. So I'm just talking to myself at the moment. So if you're watching this on catch up, then yeah, feel free to skip on to probably around the 5-minute mark when we start getting into the good stuff. But yes, just getting this all set up. So where am I? Here we go. That's me. I'm live. Oh, I can hear myself talking. Let's stop that one. I'm live. Feel free to jump in and say hello. Doink. Cool. Just bear with me. I'm a couple of minutes early too. So, yep, that one. And 2 minutes in. Back to Panzers. What is that? Okay, check that. Okay, that one post. And I don't think I can do Instagram. I don't even remember my details. Good afternoon, evening. No, it'd be morning for you, Ian. Good morning, mate. Thanks for joining again. You're becoming a regular on here, mate. How are you going? Is that my password? Incorrect. Okay, let's try that one. Hey, that worked. Cool. I'm just spamming it on Instagram, so just bear with me. Pretty good now that the floodwaters have receded. Oh yeah, that was insane. What was were you just having abnormal amounts of rain, or was that just sort of like usual? Panzers. Let's go with this one. Oh, okay. I don't know how you do it on there. On the phone. Create. Post. Live add AI. Post. Whatever. Doesn't need to be on Instagram. I don't care. That's fine. John says, hi, how are you doing? I'm great, thank you, mate. Thanks for jumping in. Recruit Painting says, hello, mate. Good morning, no, afternoon for you, being an Englishman. Thanks for joining. If you haven't checked out Recruit Painting's new channel, please do go check it out. He's just starting out, so any love that you guys can show him would be great. He's doing same sort of thing as me, painting tutorials for 28mm miniatures so far. I'm not sure if he's going to go to any smaller scale, but don't worry, Recruit Painting, I will also spam your new channel later on in this live stream. Hopefully we'll get a few people to subscribe. Ian's put that the floodwaters were abnormal, but we're no longer under drought conditions, which is good. We can blow shit up on Freedom Day without worrying about fires as much. Oh yeah, that's always a good bonus. We have that worry here in Western Australia. So yeah, I understand the fire warning, but yeah, those floods were crazy. Those cars are really flooded from what I've seen. But you got lucky, right, with your house. Recruits put you legend. I try my best, mate. I try my best. But no, seriously, it's always hard to start a new channel. You know, I had lots of help when I started, so if I can return the favor, then I'll absolutely do that, buddy. So yeah, go check that channel out, guys. Afternoon and it's hot. It's not hot. Come on, I know what hot's like. No, I can understand that. Good day for the cricket by the looks of things. Mark's put afternoon. Oh, good afternoon, Mark. How are you? Ian's, but yes, we live on a hill unlike the other peasants. Yes, you're one of the noblemen on the hill. That's the smart way of doing it, mate. John's put, well, from North England, and it's lucky we hit 20 Celsius up here yesterday. It was 30 and a huge thunderstorm and loads of rain at the same time. So humidity is through the roof today. Yes, I hate the humidity. Southeast England is roasting. Wow, you guys, it must be hot. I mean, it is the peak of your summer, so I suppose that would make sense. But yeah, roasting is a term you don't hear too often with the weather in the UK. So that's really interesting. So it's getting hotter in the UK, whereas we've had our summers have been a little bit more mild the last few years. They're still like reach 40 degrees, but just not so often. Good day, Ryan from Ryan Scale Model World. Thanks for joining, buddy. It's been 35 Celsius here with unbearable humidity. Yeah, I remember when I went to Florida and it was like, I don't know, 35 to 38 or 100 Fahrenheit. I don't know what it equates to. I think it's around that mark. And it was like 80% or 100% humidity. It was horrible. You walk outside, you're burning, and your shirt is like stuck to you. I can't do that. It's what I don't mind the dry heat so much, but that really wet heat is just horrible. I'm Ghost, but good morning from a blazing hot St. Louis, Missouri, USA. My God, you guys are all complaining about the heat. It's cold. It's cold in Western Australia. Guys, come over here if you want to get some nice cold weather. And we've had lots of rain, which is unusual for us. It's normally very dry. Also, Iron Ghost, I have a friend called Panzer Jim that's also in St. Louis. He plays 20 mil World War II. Well, doesn't play. He war games 20 mil World War II figures. If that interests you, do reach out to him. He's a fantastic painter and a top bloke. So yeah, do that if you want to connect with somebody that plays 20 mil World War II wargaming. John's put, yeah, a few years back it was hitting 40 degrees. It's the hottest I've known up north. 40 degrees in the UK. That is insane. Okay, yeah, I didn't know that it reached that high. Ryan's put, we had thunderstorms last night up north. Yeah, I think John was mentioning the thunderstorms. Were they really bad? Good morning to you too, John, from New Jersey, USA. Now that should be a little bit cooler, right? Right on the coast there in the northeast of the USA, if I'm not mistaken. Rothgar's put good day all. Good day, Rothgar. We've got the originals in here, which is fantastic to see. You're all jumping on. I hope everyone's having a lovely day. So we've got a lot of representation from the UK and Australia and America at the moment. Little Lancers has joined us. Jamie from Little Lancers, another legend. Yeah, definitely go check out Little Lance's Facebook page. We're still trying to convince him to start a YouTube channel. Jamie, you've got to start a YouTube channel, mate. Get those figures on the channel. He does some fantastic stuff. Little Lancers on Facebook, guys. Go check it out. Ian's put, he's replying to Ryan. John's put, yeah, they were loud in northeast England. That's crazy, yeah. So you had the thunderstorms and the heat. Little Lancers he's considering a YouTube channel. Oh, that's interesting. But it's finding the time though. Yeah, that is always the tricky thing, mate. That is definitely the tricky thing. But sometimes you'll make it work. You'll make it work. I'm very fortunate that I can make it work, but I know a lot of people struggle. And it's not like as easy as some people that do other stuff, like just filming themselves. But here's my everyday life, and you just film yourself. That's easy. When you're having to sit down for hours and paint figures, it's bloody hard to do it on a repetitive basis for YouTube. So yeah, I can definitely understand why you'd say that. It felt like a tropical thunderstorm, says Ryan. Bloody hell, you guys, sounds like you guys are living in the tropics. Mark's part, I would definitely subscribe to Little Lancer's quality work. I 100% agree, Mark. His stuff is fantastic, especially if you're fans of 20 mil. Oh no, he also does Warhammer. I've seen that so far, but mainly his 20 mil stuff that I've seen, other than this Warhammer, that it's all great. The Warhammer too, but if you're a big fan of 20 mil, then you would not be disappointed with his group there for sure. And I was just plugging as well, another friend of mine that's also a supporter of the channel, Recruit Painting. He's got a new channel on YouTube. Just started, had his first video up on the weekend. Fantastic quality, great, really great visuals. So yeah, he started off a lot better than I did for my first video. So please do go check it out, guys. That's Recruit Painting on YouTube. Well worth it. So looking no power outage occurred. Yep, I understand that. We get lots and lots of those where I live in Western Australia. They are a pain in the ass, and they normally happen when it's boiling hot and you want the air conditioning on, or it's normally when you're trying to go to sleep, so you can't have a fan on or the air conditioning on. You're sweating your ass off on your bed, and you just pray that the power comes back on. John's put, yeah, cool down. It is only 20 today, but humid. Yes. Just the humidity, innit? Just, it kills you. You wouldn't mind the heat as long as it's not sticking to you. I can't stand that. Little Lancer's replying to Mark. Recruit says, you're too kind, mate. Thank you. No, it's really, really good, buddy. Really, really good. You do deserve any success that comes your way or any support. So definitely keep going with it. We need more wargaming tutorial videos anyway. So yeah, definitely do it. Ryan's put, we complain when it's too hot and we complain when it's too cold. Don't you know it, buddy? Don't you know it? We all do that. Baltasar says, do you have a cat-sized spiders up there in Australia? I wouldn't say cat-sized. I've seen a spider. I'm probably going to exaggerate here, but when I worked at Perth International Airport, there was a spider probably about like that big. We caught it, maybe a bit bigger, and it must have just ate like, I don't know. It was massive. It was bloody big. It was like maybe even bigger than that. It was massive. They call it a huntsman. It was, yeah, they're not, it's not nice. Spiders are not my thing. Snakes, I don't mind, but the spiders are just, yuck. And where I work at an air base here in Perth, and we're a bit more out of Perth, so we get lots of horrible, nasty spiders. I mean, huntsmen will bite you. They've got fangs and they will actually bite you, but they're not poisonous. But then we've also got like the redbacks, which I think are similar to funnel webs, where they can make you sick. My dad got bit by a redback on his toe, and he was like, got the real bad sweats and felt all dizzy and had to go to the hospital, and they gave him some sort of like anti-serum, and he seemed to be all right after that. Literally Spider-Man, but without being Spider-Man. Adam's put, hello, I'm very late. You're not very late at all. You're only, well, probably less than 10 minutes late, Adam. So thank you so much for joining. John's put, I see there's going to be a lot less 3D prints available on Etsy. They've changed rules on 3D prints. What? What's all that about, mate? What's all that about? I didn't know that. I mean, Etsy is full of 3D prints, but I did not know that was going to happen. Jamie's from the Lancers put, after my painting that British airman, I'm considering maybe a small 8th Army force. It's all your fault. I'm sorry, mate. I'm sorry, but I'm really not. But yeah, do it, man. But 8th Army, keep going with your British Airborne. Adam's put, what is your next plan about figures? Well, it depends what scale you want me to address, Adam. You tell me what scale and I will... sorry, my dessert's repeating on me. You tell me what scale and I will let you know what the plans are. Or do you just want to know what's coming up in the video format? Hi, Christian says, Patrick, Panzer Ace. Good day, Patrick. Thanks for joining, buddy. Always good to have you on the channel with your Flames of War Japanese progressing along very nicely. How's the weather in Switzerland? Everyone's complaining it's super hot in the UK and the USA. Ryan's put, way do they come in the home is because of the aircon on the spiders, the Australian spiders, lol. Yeah, I've seen some horror stories of like people will get in their cars and they'll crank the air conditioning and the spider will get a bit too cold and like the huntsman will come out of the aircon ducting in the car. That would be my worst nightmare. I just don't do spiders. I really just don't do spiders. We have spiders that grow around the size of a US quarter, not including leg span. And one time my coworker caught a few and hid them all over the station of another coworker who was terrified of them. Yeah, that's not very nice. I had something similar happen when I was at the Perth airport. They caught another huntsman. It was a big spider, and they did the same thing. This lad used to leave his car windows down, and they threw it in his car. And then when I was driving home, I saw him pulled over on the side of the road, so I could tell that he's probably come across that spider and he's shat his pants quite literally, I'd imagine. But yeah, that's why you never let on that you're afraid of spiders. I'm pretty much telling all 8,000 people, if they do watch this, that subscribe to the channel, but hopefully none of them are my work colleagues. I have pretended to not be afraid of spiders. I dealt with a huntsman a couple of times at work, but it's always at quite a distance with a broom. Uh, Adam TV's put 20 mil. So what 20 mil am I working on? I'm currently working on another British Airborne tutorial. But this guy I did green stuff on. So I've just almost finished painting him now. He's not too far away. I'm not sure if I can. This is terrible lighting. No, you can't really make him out. Whatever. But I'm working on him. 20 mil, 20 mil. I'm painting some winter US infantry for the bulge, but I think they're Italieri figures or Rebel. I'm not 100% sure. 20 mil. And then I'm not too sure actually. Not too sure after that, the 20 mil front. I think I'll be doing a gun team. So this British Airborne figure will be part of a bigger British Airborne tutorial, which would include a gun team, because I think that's something guys have requested a lot. So I'll paint up like a 6-pounder or something like that. Ryan's put, I can't type today, lol. No, that's all right, mate. Sorry, I was trying to read it as best I could with trying to make trying to fill in some of the errors there. But yeah, don't stress, buddy. I'm just as bad with it, especially when you're trying to type fast or you're not looking at the screen. Let's just fix that lighting a little bit. So John's saying on Etsy, you can only print items if you are a creator and have sole rights. So people who have a retail license, say through Patreon or Kickstarter, won't be able to sell through Etsy as they're not the creator. That actually sounds quite good, actually. Like probably a bonus to that happening. Does that just mean that prices are going to rack up? I hope they crack down on those Chinese sellers that are selling knockoffs, especially of AB figures. That drives me nuts. They're just everywhere, but in the resin. They're not that much cheaper than just buying them off AB Figures website. So I don't know why people don't just do that. But I suppose people that might not know about AB Figures, yeah, would just buy them. I mean, I probably would if I didn't know about AB Figures. But yeah. Here we go. Harry from Fog of Wars joined us. Giant huntsmans grow to 30 centimeters. They are great. They keep insects down in the home. It's the wildtails that I hate. Yeah, they're great, but not in my house. Not in my house, not in my garage. They can be anywhere else. If I catch them, then they go over the fence, but not in my house. That's why I try and keep if I see any cockroaches, they're gone straight away. I don't want any incentive for huntsmen to come and have a fun time. Patches puts 35 degrees here right now. Bloody hell, so another hot country. My Japanese are on a break, have problems how to make the next base. Oh dear. Well, good luck, mate. You've done well so far. You've done really well, buddy. So keep it up, because they're a lovely force that you're making up. Ryan's put the only spider he likes is Spider-Man. Yes, indeed. As long as you're on the right side of Spider-Man. Although I've never really been into Spider-Man myself. I've never been into comics, full stop. I just like history, which is why I'm such a loner when I was at school. Harry's put, it's the Jugar and tiger snakes that I'm more concerned about. Yes, absolutely. Don't want to be. We don't really see too many of those here, obviously, in suburbia, but I know you're a bit more of a small town sort of folk, so you're obviously going to see them quite a bit more. Rothgar's put that I've not touched Etsy. I just buy the files from the creators and print them myself. Yeah, I don't have a printer, so I'm not in that boat. I have to buy, but I don't normally buy on Etsy. I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever bought wargaming stuff on Etsy. I think mainly because most of the content, or most of the Etsy companies are, or people aren't in Australia, so they charge an absurd amount. in postage, which, yeah, to Australia is normally double what you're actually paying for the figures. Just put, okay, I was looking at my Chain of Command Forest book, so did you paint the elephant and the figure next to it? Absolutely. Oh, the figure next to it? Yes, the elephant and the guy standing next to it. It was part of my video for my great-grandfather that was in India in 44 to 45 in the RAF. But my figures are also in the new Chain of Command version 2 book, which I've got behind me. I could show you, but I'm wearing my Snoopy shorts, so I don't want to embarrass myself too much. But yeah, so that's 2 Chain of Command books my figures are featured in, which I'm absolutely stoked about. So maybe I should do a video on it, but I just don't know too much about the rules and such. But my aim for the next probably 12 months is to learn Chain of Command, because it seems to be very popular, and I really enjoy listening to Nick's live streams sorry, not Nick, Rich, his live streams explaining about it all. John's but AB figures are often listed as Eureka 20mm on eBay in North America. Interesting. Are they metal as well, or are they resin? Because the knockoffs are resin. Jeffrey's brought Bridge Too Far and BBC Two just now. Oh, the best movie. The absolute best. I always have this debate with myself. Is A Bridge Too Far the best, or is Zulu the best? You just don't get better in movies. TV shows, I think Band of Brothers, you would never beat that. But movies, I think A Bridge Too Far probably tops it for me. I think the fact that the British and the US are represented really well. Yeah, I love that. I do love that. John's book hasn't got version 2 of Chain of Command yet. Yeah, that's fair enough, mate. When you do get it, I think mine a bit more further into the book this time. I think they're like midway through. There's a few my 20mm stuff and a couple of 28mm figures as well. Ian's put, what a coincidence. My great grandfather was also in the Far East. I think I talked about him in another live video. Yes, that does sound familiar, mate. Yes, absolutely. So my great grandfather was in India, and then at the end of the war, he was stationed in Singapore. But he would never speak about the war, and he had some sort of like top secret clearance with the RAF. So I think what I've worked out was that he was like a what do they call those? I've lost what I was talking about. But he basically plots aircraft movements and such, and reports back all of that sort of like intelligence. Because he then went on to work at Scotland Yard after the war. So he must have been doing something right. Ryan's put, my Fallschirmjäger is coming along nicely. I will post them on Discord. Oh yeah, definitely do, mate. I look forward to seeing them on Discord. You started off really well, so hopefully you've come up with a solution to your white base coat that you asked about. And let's put, please try and build a 1 to 144 scale submarine. Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. That's going to take a long, long time. That's a massive submarine. That would be very, very hard for me to film. And yeah, I don't have a 1 to 144 scale sub. I think back in the day I had a 1 to like 300 scale sub from Italieri. Or was it Revel? It was a big German sub and it was huge, but I ended up binning it because I never actually finished it and I was younger. There was glue everywhere and such. Ian's but he thinks The Longest Day is the best personally. Do you know what? I've never watched it. I went to watch it and I didn't have subtitles because it was a knockoff copy. So yeah, I will definitely get around to watching it. But that is one of very few war movies I haven't watched. And I don't know why. I just have never got around to watching it. Ryan's put, Bridge Too Far film I can't find on Blu-ray. Yeah. I wonder what it would look like on Blu-ray. I've just got the 1080p version. Got Zula on now, says Jamie. Gotta have it on while painting the warriors. Oh man, you need motivation, right? Zulu is just so good. I wish what was the other one? Not Zulu. Zulu Dawn. I wish that was a bit more. I know it's a really good movie to sort of explain the start of the war and then the disaster that happened. But those last 20 minutes of the film made it worthwhile watching because I think the rest of it, I wouldn't have really stuck around to watch it because it was more the politics side of things and it was a bit like, but Zulu just takes it to the next level. It's just constant action. And Michael Caine, I just love the guy. He's just such a fantastic actor. Harry's put, I just finished building Dark Castle Terrain's large farmhouse set of MDF buildings, Tony, mate. Have you done much MDF? I haven't, mate. I haven't done much MDF. I did one, which is a Rockstrift 20mm building underneath here. But yeah, I haven't really done too much MDF yet, but I probably will do. I've got a 28mm Rockstrift set. I'm not sure if you can see it on the camera there. Just in the corner there. But I'm umming and ahhing if I want to go with 3D prints for my 20mm terrain or if I want to go MDF. I think MDF might be a bit cheaper than 3D prints though. John Shepherd is, but I've played quite a few games of first edition Chain of Command. How did you find it, John? Do you like it? Eames, but mine was in Birmingham, commanded a gun crew, and then was brought home when his mother fell ill and guarded a POW camp. Oh wow, that's what a story, eh? Imagine the stories he could tell. But so he was US in because I'm assuming he was in the US Army, or have I got that completely wrong in Burma? So I'm assuming he worked on the road coming down from the north of India across into China with Stilwell, or I've got it completely wrong. Ryan's put, I found the perfect whitewash Humber Sea Grey looks great. Okay, I'll check that out. Longest Day is great. I'll loan you my DVD. All right, thanks, mate. I just need subtitles. Like I said, I got the knockoff copy. I started watching it. It started with the Germans, and I think it was the French girl, and I was like, I don't understand anything. So yeah. I just watched a war film, Fury. Oh yeah, Fury's good. It's typical like Hollywood, completely inaccurate. I mean, I think yeah, but it was a good action movie. There's a color version of The Longest Day out there somewhere. It was on TV once. Someone had colorized it. Yeah, I always try and get the colorized versions. I watched what did I watch recently? The 1946 version of like a Bridge Too Far. It's about the British airborne at Arnhem. What was it called? I know you guys will tell me in the comments section. It is superb. It's the guys that were actually at Arnhem. A lot of them were acting in the movie, so it's probably the most historically accurate depiction of the Battle of Arnhem. There's actual tiger. I think there's an actual tiger tank in there or panther tank. Not like a fake panther. It's the real deal. So yeah, it was really good, and that was colorized, so it made it even better in my opinion. I'm a bit too young to really appreciate black and white movies. I like them in color. But no, my grandfather was stationed in England and met my English grandmother, and it was her dad who was in Burma. Ah, okay, well that makes a lot of sense. So was he in? So he would have been in Burma at the start of the war, so in 42, or was he start of the Far East War, I should say, or was he in Burma in like 45? 44 to 45. Okay, cool. Yeah, wow, that would have been awesome. So gun crew. So I imagine a 6-pounder, or was he artillery? Was he an artilleryman? John's part. I used to play first edition bolt action. My mate got me into Chain of Command and really liked it. Never played bolt action since. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've only ever heard good stuff about Chain of Command. I've played Bolt Action. It was a bit. I mean, this was version one, so I wasn't too taken on it. I've always just played Flames of War. I've played a couple of Battle Group now, which I really like. Um, but yeah, I haven't played Chain of Command yet, but I really should do it. Recruits put Rich came to my club back in March to show us Chain of Command 2. It was really fun and well researched system. Okay, that's great to know, Recruit. I'll yeah, that's just another positive. All I ever hear is really great things about Chain of Command. Harry's Potter can speak enough war film German to watch Longest Day. Okay, that's that's good to know. I'll have to have you here translating for me. Didn't A Bridge Too Far come out in 4K? I'm not too sure, mate. I'm 4K and 1080p to me. I don't really notice too much difference. So I will just watch it in 1080. So full HD for me is fine. I don't need it in 4K. Uh, Ian says he believes his grandfather was on a 6 pounder. Okay, but that would make a lot of sense. In terms of gun crews, definitely wouldn't have had 2 pounders, and the Brits would have only really had those 6 pounders. Um, at that point. So I'm probably pounding the shit out of dug in Japanese positions or fortifications. John, there we go. He's the winner. Theirs was The Glory. What a superb film, guys. If you want to watch something that's as accurate as it can be from 1946, find it in color. Well worth watching. It's a really, really good movie, and it gives you a really clear idea of what was actually happening. I mean, even the buildings, they film it in Arnhem, and a lot of the wrecks are still there because they haven't cleaned them up um, since the war. So yeah, well worth watching it. My dad said he told stories of blowing up Japanese tanks. Jesus, yeah, there's not a whole lot that the 6 pounder couldn't have blown up that the Japanese had. I don't think there's anything the Japanese had that the 6 pounder wouldn't have blown up. So yeah, I definitely would believe that. Um, that's crazy, isn't it? Josh, but it really was a World War II game for 40k players in my eyes. Yeah, I've heard that before. I've definitely heard that statement before. And that does ring true. But then they've got the right idea from a marketing perspective. I mean, obviously, Warhammer's the biggest tabletop game out there. So if you're trying to lure people into the historical side of things, you're going to try and make it somewhat similar. Japanese tank like the Hargo tank, etc. Is Ryan's asking 6 pounders could blow up a Japanese tank? Oh yeah, man, 6 pounders would definitely blow up Japanese tanks easily, easily. Um, and I'm trying to think in 44 to 45, the Japanese would have just had a mix of whatever they could get their hands on. So definitely would have been the type 97s and 95s. And yeah, just whatever they could get their hands on. I don't think they would have had much, to be completely honest. They lost a lot of tanks when they attacked Infal and Kahima. Um, so yeah, they wouldn't have had too much left, I don't think. They could have put up a decent fight. They did have tanks actually when they were counterattacking Mandalaya, or was it Mike Tiller? I can't remember. One of the two. They did a counterattack with tanks, but it just got annihilated again. Ian's put, unfortunately, my great grandfather passed long before my birth, allegedly prematurely in spite of his lauded British healthcare system. Yeah, that's a shame. That's a big, big shame. You would love to be able to speak to these men that would have had the most insane stories. But a lot of those, yeah, they do pass a lot earlier than we would have liked them to. That's for sure. I wasn't old enough to. I know my great grandfather sort of alluded to the fact he was in the war, but he never spoke of it. He never collected his medals um, or anything. He didn't want any of that during the war, and it was only after he passed away and I turned 18 that I started researching it and managed to get hold of his medals. Well, new medals, I suppose. Not his they are his medals, but not from that time, obviously. But yeah, so they're cherished now, and um, hopefully pass them down to my children. Ryan's put, don't forget the Pia anti-tank gun. Yes, the Pia is would have been great against those Japanese tanks. I've also seen the Pia being used in a role to dislodge like foxholes that the Japanese had, or spider holes and such, in little cave entrances and that. Just hip fire the Pia in there, and that'll do the job quite nicely to get those Japanese out. And Ryan's just thanking Ian for sharing the war stories, which, yes, definitely. Thank you for that, Ian. Ian's put, at least I've heard some of the stories secondhand. I have another relative who the only thing I know about him is that he died on a British submarine. Eesh. Yeah, I think that would have been one of the scariest roles to be in the war. A submarine, or like in a bomber. I think that would have been terrifying, especially in like 42 when like the B-17s flying over Germany and stuff. And another is in the 3rd Armored Division that got hitched in Holland. Yeah, oh wait, you've got a big military history in your family. That's awesome. So did you guys catch the video on the castle, and what did you think of it? What did you make of the castle thing? Because I've only ever seen really hard resin castles, or castles. I meant to say castles. I know I'm from Leicester, but castles is how the Aussies say, and I've just picked that up. Um, but yeah, I was actually really impressed with it. I think somebody said, "Oh, the price is quite hefty," but I don't think so. I think it's actually priced quite reasonably. It's massive. The castle is massive. So Recruits put that his granddad was in Italy and fought at Monte Cassino where he was injured. I have the British bolt action box, and I hope to pay them up for the Italy campaign. Oh, great, mate! That'll be a fantastic video as well, for your channel for sure. Monte Cassino, wow, that he did well to come out of that alive, because they lost a lot of people there, that's for sure. Both grandfathers are in Vietnam. Oh well, yeah, it says Ian. So you've had a lot of military in your family. John's put, yeah, the Piat was technically a spring operated mortar. Yeah, yeah. It gets a lot of hate, but I think if the Brits could have used a Piat for more of that role, so like dislodging um, people in foxholes or buildings or bunkers or whatever, and then have like the bazooka that the Americans had, or like a Panzer Shrek, something a bit better, a bit more accurate for dealing with armor, then I think it would have been a bit better for them, not just to rely on the Piat. The castle looked good, says Rough Guy. Yeah, I thought it was really good. Mark's what my granddad fought on and was captured and spoke about it very little. Wow, that's amazing, mate. Well, did he jump in, or was he part of the glider-borne troops? I enjoyed the castle vid, says Recruit, and I bought it for my Baron's War stuff. Oh god, your Baron War stuff is so nice. I'm so tempted by it. But we've also got Medbury Miniatures here that does a fantastic 100 Years War range. With all the personalities. I'm just so tempted. But I've also got my eye on some Perry Tropical Fallschirmjäger in 20 mils, 28 mil, sorry. So what do I want to prioritize filming for the channel? I think Tropical Fallschirmjäger will probably be a bit more of a hit for me. But yeah, I've also got some 20 mil SAS Jeeps, completely random, that I've airbrushed. I just haven't got around to painting yet. So is that something you guys want to see? Because I just haven't done them yet, but I should really just finish them. But I've been prioritizing like infantry because that's what you guys seem to want to see more of. But despite the hate for the Piat, it was one of the best AT weapons of the war. Yeah, I could believe that statement. I do think the Germans probably got it right with the Panzerfaust. I like the fact that they were really cheap, they had a pretty good warhead on them, and really easy to operate. I suppose similar in the way to the Pia, where you have to be rather close to be accurate. But I think they had the. I think that was a really good idea. Um, I don't know if you compare the Panzer Shrek to the Bazooka, which one would win? I don't know. I don't know which one was more accurate. Although I'd say the Bazooka's probably lighter than the Panzer Shrek, but that's just me coming up with anything. I don't know. It looks a bit lighter. Chain of command needs commitment, but it is good once you master. Okay, so that's interesting to know. So you need to persist with it to really get it. Like, that's the same as battle group, though. Battle group can definitely be like that. It's definitely one of those ones where if you're going to start it, you need to commit to it, play it for a few games, and then see if you like it or not. Mark's put that he was a signaler. Oh, wow. That's so cool. And it's great that he got out alive because, again, another battle that the British really lost a lot of people. John's put a local man I knew was captured at Arnhem. He broke his leg and part of his back when he dropped off. Jesus. Poor guy. Getting injured straight away. That's not a good turnout. So I imagine he was probably captured as well. With those sorts of injuries, I don't think he would have been moving too far. Ryan's put, did you see the Saving Power Ryan set for Bolt Action 3rd edition? I did. I'm not a big fan of the Bolt Action US Rangers, is it? Just because I like them. The plastic set's fantastic. The new plastic Rangers are fantastic. But I would have liked to have seen um, a bit more of that. The jackets, potentially the gas mask pack, so you could make them for the beaches of um, of D-Day. Ian's put the Piat was stealthier than weapons like the bazookas, had no backblast and could be fired from an in-close position. It could also be sort of a lob its warhead onto the engine deck of a tank. Yeah, that's a really good point. Really, really good point. Was the round capable of penetrating thicker armor than the bazooka or the Panzerschreck? I'm only asking because I have absolutely no idea. Jeremy's put hello from a very warm Canada. Hello. So it'd be good morning for you guys, right? Is it depending on which part of Canada you're from? Um, I'm assuming by very warm you're in the East Coast. Just because it isn't Vancouver the rainy city. Ian's put, I believe so. Forgotten Weapons has a video about it. Yeah, I really need to look into all of this stuff. I remember I went nuts when I went to Vegas and I was shooting everything other than like the bazookas and stuff. So I shot like the M1 Garand, the Kar 98, STG 44, MP40, Thompson, Sten, Bren gun. What else did I shoot? MG 34, MG 42, PPSH, bar. There was quite a few, as you can tell. I went mental when we went to Vegas. But yeah, I think you could shoot bazookas and stuff. So I wonder if they had a PI. That would be pretty cool to fire. Oh, Herv has just put something on there, but I have no idea what that is. Let me try and see if I can translate that one. So just let me go on Google Translate for this one. English to Portuguese.
SLT, o vídeo está no meio.
Oh, translate from French. Hang on. French. Hi, the video is in the middle. I don't know what that means, but I will put hello. Thanks for joining. I can't speak French, so bonjour to you, Herv. I don't know what else to say. Je m'appelle Christian. I think that's my name is Christian. Hopefully I got that right. Ah, yes, Herb does mean we're midway through the live. Thank you, Ian. Yes, terrible. I'm terrible. My French is awful. That's very embarrassing. I hope I got it right. Is it? Here we go. Is it parlez-vous anglais? Is that how you say, do you speak English? Or I speak English? Something along those lines. That's as much French as I'm going because I can't think of anything else. Rice, but by the way, good color to highlight khaki for Russians. Just throwing some stone grey for Russians. I think they were more of a dual or a German camo beige for a highlight. They're a lot more of a dual khaki than a bright khaki. Jeremy's put, I'm in Toronto and it is 10:15, currently 28 degrees, but feeling like 38 degrees. Later will be close to 36, but 46. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, that is hot, hot, hot. Is it humid though? Or is it just a dry heat? Mark's bot, I had a Sterling in Golf 1. Wow, that would have been awesome. So people would have been walking around with their SLRs, I'm assuming, or did you guys move on to the L85s? Was it the L85s? I'm assuming if you had a Sterling that the SLR was still around. Was the Bren still around, or did the Brits move on from the Bren? Rothgoss put that I'm not happy that the new bolt action third sets with the raw bolt, as most of the models are in winter coats. I might just have to buy the book separately. Oh yeah, that's a bummer. If you don't want winter stuff, then yeah, that's definitely a bummer. I do have some of the new British plastic sculpts, but I don't think I'm allowed to show you guys. I don't know why I brought that up. I just thought about it then. I've got them behind me, but I don't think I'm allowed to show you yet. Jerry's put is extremely humid. Yeah, I can imagine it would be. So you guys get a lot of humidity, the northern hemisphere, which is strange. I didn't think that would be the case. Hers put the view is upside down. I don't think it is for me. I'm looking at my screen now and it seems to be all right. Hopefully you guys aren't watching it with me upside down. Please let me know if anyone else has got problems with their footage. Mark's put the SLR than the S80. Should have kept the SLR. Yeah, I've heard that a lot. So the Aussies had, I know some of the Aussies that I've spoken to that were in the army during the time of the SLR said the same thing. The only issue was that it was heavy. But yeah, by God, I've heard it was accurate. And I fired an SLR as well. I fired that at Vegas. Ian's put to buy the book separately anyway. The big hard book is better in my eyes than the tiny one, the set school book, which makes sense. Yeah, that definitely makes sense. Benjamin's put for all of us on the northern hemisphere, you're upside down. Yeah, exactly, exactly. You guys could dig, and you'll end up in Australia. All of your stuff is all down because you're in Australia. Benjamin, Ian beat you. Sorry, Ian. Benjamin beat you to it. Rothgar, I'm waiting till next month for my next Warlord order. See if the mini of the month is something I want next month. Oh yeah, that's a great idea. And if you're buying through Warlord Games, this is just a little subtle plug. Please, can I implore you to use my affiliate link? It would definitely go a long way. But yeah, that's just me plugging it. You don't have to use it at all, and you don't get any benefit from using it. You're just helping the channel out. Recruits put, I think the new Band of Brothers set is out or out soon for Bar Action called D-Day Starter Set. I haven't seen it, but yeah, I don't really keep up with what's going on in the Bar Action world, which I should do. But they've been doing some really good stuff actually. The team at Warlord Games. My only criticism is that they moved away from Paul Hicks miniatures, which is just such a shame. I really hate the replacement of some of the ranges that they're going with. I'd like to see them keep both, but you know, you can't have everything. John's put it's fine here in the UK. It isn't a down under joke, is it? It could be. It could very well be, and I could be missing it completely because of the language barrier. In which case, then Hervé, I think is how you pronounce it, would have a much better sense of humor than I do. So Hervé, if I got the joke wrong, then I'm very, very sorry. But thank you so much for joining in, and I apologize for my French. It is just awful. Used to be walking along, and the magazine used to fall off the SA80. Jesus. I've always heard that a magazine at the back as well is not as good as a magazine like midway through on the rifle or the assault rifle. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but yeah. Ian's put, I'll use your affiliate link if you pay me 20 euros. Hmm. I think I get 5% with my affiliate link, so let me just work that out. So if you spend like $400, then I suppose we can come up with a plan there. John Shepard's put Paul Hicks. I love his sculpts. Yeah, yeah, he's the king of 28 mil sculpts for sure. Rothgos put, have you tried Lone Ranger's shooting range? I personally hated the cage they put the guns in. The cables and the padlock made the guns front heavy. I got a sore back after a while. Yes. I went with my old man and we fired like just the air rifles there, and you still had to have the little lock on your gun and all that. Yeah, I didn't like Lone Rangers. It's got nothing on like shooting ranges outside of Australia, so it's not even worth wasting your money, in my opinion. You don't get the full experience because you don't get like the recoil and stuff because it's got that lock on there. So yeah, save your money and do it in America or Vietnam or something. Vietnam was Vietnam. The Vegas was just insane. I there was I can't remember, it was like Battlefield something or another, and you could even shoot a machine gun out of a B-17. I think at one stage that they were doing, or you could go for a ride in the B-17, drive a tank, shoot a tank, fire a mortar. It was just crazy. I'm not sure if they're still doing all of that, but I remember the guy I was shooting with. Well, not shooting with. I was in the shooting range. I was just shooting with my World War II guns, and this guy had like a 50 caliber sniper rifle, and the whole room shook. It was crazy. Ian's put, there's ranges in Australia. Yes, but they're very, very small ranges. They're only pistols and air rifles, pistols, and I think low caliber shotguns. That's it. There's no assault rifles, no machine guns, no like decent sniper rifles, um, and low caliber pistols as well. You're not going to be able to fire a Desert Eagle, for example. Ian's put that there's a B-29 here in Wichita that has been restored. You can go for rides, and it's pretty cool to look up and see it flying around. Yeah, that's awesome. I still remember watching like the Lancasters and the Concords flying when I was in the UK. Well, I didn't watch too many Concords, but I watched the last one fly. Um, Watching all those retro aircraft is just so cool. Again, you don't get too much of that in Western Australia. We're just such a small little city. Not small state. Perth, I should say, is a small city. But yeah, in terms of what's coming up, we've got I'm working on a 28mm Russian, so he's going to be painted very soon. He'll probably be coming out next week. And then we've got some epics, so we're returning to the epics. We've got some Numidians and some Americans for the Revolutionary War. Is that the right way of saying it? American War of Independence. I suppose Revolutionary War is also correct. 20mm British Airborne, and then the 20 or 172 scale US for the bulge from Italieri or Revel. I'll have to work out which one it's from. This was sent to me by one of my followers, which was very, very helpful because I've run out of 172 scale figurines, and I don't want to buy a whole box set each time because I only end up painting one or two. And it just seems like an absolute waste. I literally don't have the room in my house at the moment for that sort of stuff. Looking at a map, it doesn't look like there's much of West Australia. Yeah, there's Perth, and that's about it. And the rest of it's pretty much barren, and it's massive. I don't suppose that Russian is a new sculpt wall I sent you. No, this is a old sculpt Russian. I didn't even know they've got any new sculpts out for the Russians yet. Hopefully they will send me them, but if they do, they won't be out until until they're released. They're not wanting me to put out any videos now of tutorials prior to the release of the figures, which makes a lot of sense. But I have to compete with people in the UK and America. You guys get everything before us in Australia. So if I can beat you, I normally try to get most views for my video, the most amount of views, perhaps bring in some new subscribers. It's very cheeky, but that's what everyone does on YouTube. But I've been told, no, you can't do that anymore. So I have to wait until they're released and yeah, do it that way. So I don't know when I'll get any Russians, got no idea. And I can't do these Brits, I think, until mid-July or end of July, whenever the new British plastics are released. Ryan's put those Italieri soldiers you paint are fairly cheap here in the UK. Yeah, they're cheap here as well. I think it's about $20, which equates to about £10 a box, which isn't too bad. But I don't need them. That's the problem. I don't need a box of like 40 figures or 20, 30 figures I'm never going to get around to painting. I just paint these for the nostalgia of it. I'm not actually going to use them for wargaming. So I probably don't need them all. So if people have got like a couple of spares of each set, that's all I'm asking for. And I've got them now, so I don't need to ask for them. But yeah, that's why I was put the question out there. They have. I saw the new Soviets at Salute. Oh, okay. Yeah, there's been no mention of them to me in terms of from a content creator point of view, but hopefully they'll come out soon. And but that's kind of a shame. It would be nice to have tutorials out before people get their hands on the stuff. Yeah, I think their thought process is there's no point putting the tutorials out because they can't promote it because the figures aren't out yet. So I think they want you to wait, let the figures become public, put your tutorial out, so then people are getting their figures when your tutorial comes out, so people are going to be watching it, and then they can promote it because then people can go buy the figures, opposed to not being able to buy them. I think they'll do it for pre-order, but not just like randomly. I think I put out like the British for the Epic Wars, and it was a bit like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that so soon, because they were available for pre-order, but it was months away still, I think. So they couldn't really promote it for me. Italian figures always look weird to me, like they're not proportioned right or something. It really depends which Italieri figures you get, because some of them actually aren't too bad. I've actually been quite impressed with a few of them. They're Eighth Army ones, I think, or they're British ones. I think they're Eighth Army ones are actually quite nice. The British Airborne ones weren't too bad. Yeah, there's some sets that you go, oh, these aren't nice. But The other ones aren't too bad, and they're not too hard to clean up. Those Pegasus hobby ones I got for my D-Day diorama that I made were awful. Like in terms of the cleanup, they're just so difficult. They painted up okay, but again, a photo and a video can hide a lot of sins. But yeah, the Atelier ones win hands down over those in terms of the cleanup. John's put, yeah, I think they're reluctant to give creators items just in case that people don't want to review them or paint them, put them on eBay and sell them way early. Yeah, and that's it. I try not to sell. Well, sorry. I have sold stuff that Warlord have sent me, so like I'll only sell what I've painted, so I won't like just get stuff for free and then sell it. But when I've sold stuff, it's to put back into the channel. So like buying gift cards for people winning stuff on my being a channel member, or using the money that I sell what they've sent me to buy more bolt action stuff, if that makes sense. So it goes back into the channel. So that's the way I justify selling it. I would never try and sell stuff that's been sent to me to just make a profit off it, unless it's been years and years, you know. So like I've got tons of stuff that's been sent to me, and hopefully companies understand that if they send me a lot of stuff, like even with Flames War, they sent me these army box sets. I'm never going to get around to paying the whole bloody thing unless I really take an interest in it. Like the Japanese, I might try and do at some point. But 9 times out of 10, I'm just taking a sample out of the box set and painting it up, because I just will never get around to doing painting tutorials if I didn't do it that way. But hopefully, you know, if my videos get like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people buying stuff, then it sort of pays for what they send me. I don't even know why I went into that chat. I don't know why I went through that. Both Stars put Italian esky figures look pretty good to me, especially if they were made in the 70s and 80s. Yeah, for sure. I think they're not too bad, actually. I think you can level some criticism at them. They do look a little bit like squashed when you get them on the side. And some of their equipment looks a bit, but not as many. There's more good than there is bad, I think, so far from what I've seen. Any tips for batch painting soldiers quicker? I use an airbrush for the start. I don't use an airbrush, and I don't batch paint really. I just do, I think the most I'll do for 20mm is 3 figures at a time. I find if I batch paint, I lose interest very quickly. If I'm painting Flames of War, I'll do 4 figures at a time, 20mm 3 figures, and 28mm 2 figures, or 1 figure. So yeah. John's put, it's like Games Workshop had to quickly promote a new box set for this series. Start set as one that was available to buy online. Probably a creator who didn't want to review it. But that's the thing, right? So Warlord will reach out to me and say, hey, would you be interested in painting up some of the new British infantry? And I'm like, yeah, sure. So I would never agree to it if I'm just going to sell it, because it just looks bad. However, you know, they're giving you free samples, but they're not paying you. So is that their way of being like, you do, as soon as we send it to you, you do whatever you want with it. We don't care. But I take getting send something a form of payment, so you have to give something back. Otherwise, what's the point? Now, there is a few things that I haven't painted yet that Warlord have sent me because I've missed the boat. I requested some of the Soldier of Fortune figures, and they arrived after the Soldier of Fortune had ended, so I haven't got around to painting them just because there's no real point, because you can't get them anymore. So I very rarely try and put out videos of stuff that's now out of production, because there's no real point, because people won't have them, or they've already painted them. So yeah, so there is a few things that Warlord have sent me that I haven't painted, and that they sent me quite a long time ago, but most of the time it's they've been painted. Mike Taylor, Panzer Aces, but hello everyone. Good Mike, you're joining us as I'm just about to conclude this live stream. Ryan's, but I might buy a box of Italieri, see what they're like. Yeah, definitely do it. I would recommend the 8th Army set. It's probably one of the newer ones. It's pretty nice. Esteban, hello. Which box should I buy if I want to start the Germans? Very good question. Really depends what you want to build. The new German infantry set's really nice. I really like the Winter Fallschirmjäger set. They'll be my two that I would recommend for Germans. If you're happy with plastic figures, that is. Just use IPA to clean off the flash on Italieri. I don't know if IPA will clean off flash. It will clean off like resin, like residue on there, but I don't think it will actually clean off the flash. I think you're going to need a file or a Stanley knife to get the flash off. Off. And John's, but I wouldn't use IPA. The price of beer is expensive nowadays. Yeah, that is very, very true. I saw that the Brits put a slight little tax on beer, or they're trying to put a tax on beer, and it would never happen here in Australia. There'd be a civil war, that's for sure. All right, guys, I'm probably going to start wrapping it up here unless anyone's got any further questions. I really enjoyed the stream as always. I try and keep it to an hour. There's work tomorrow, and I want to just finish painting this guy's headband tourniquet thing. I don't even know what you would call it. Head wound dressing. Let's just go with that. So before I go to bed. But yeah, I really enjoyed the stream as always. Ian demands another hour. Damn you, Ian! You're so demanding. But yeah, really, really enjoyed it, guys. The wife took the car and I'm stuck at home bored. I mean, I could just leave it on and you can watch me paint, although you won't be able to see too much, and then it'll go pitch black when I go off to bed. So you won't really see too much. So yeah. Mike's put, we'll watch it later. You're a legend, mate. I hope you enjoyed your, I think it was lunch you were going for. I hope you enjoyed your lunch. Thanks, Ryan, for joining, mate. Really appreciate it, bud, as always. I'm sure I'll chat to you all on the Discord later on tonight anyway. But yeah, thanks again, guys. Really, really enjoyed the stream, as I said. I think I'm going to be getting a video out on Wednesday or Thursday covering Here 46. So just a review of some of their figures that they kindly sent me. And very interesting figures at that. So yeah, but hopefully we'll be back on next week and we'll be doing the Panzer Race live stream next week. It's meant to be today, but it's going to be next week now. And some of the lads from the Panzer Race tier will be joining us and having a chat with me. So it's not just my ugly mug on the screen. We can get a bit more beauty on the screen. Thanks, everyone. Roast dinner was yummy, great stream. Later on, I feel like I'm in Australia. Though. I couldn't sleep with the heating under the thunder, so I've been awake 27 hours. Oh yeah, bloody hell, you are in Australia. I hope they did Discord with the full stream. Yeah, excellent. All right, guys, thank you very much. Chat again very, very soon. See ya. Doink. I think that's the one. There we go.